How many of you guys and girls have had supernatural experiences? Religious experiences? Phenomenological experiences? Have you had out-of-body experiences? There must be a decent bunch of you diehards on this channel that have had some of these things. Otherwise you won't be here. And a few of you in recent times have written about kind of like dreamy, astrally type things, but you weren't sure. Well, why didn't you investigate it if you weren't sure? Plenty of people talking about it on YouTube, telling you their experiences of leaving the body, religious experiences, demonic experiences, all different sorts of things. And this is one of the reasons why these clinical idiots get away with their poo-pooing of the supernatural, because they've done the job on the public. Over this past 100 years or more, they've really done the job on the public, to the degree whereby they don't feel free enough to be able to talk about what they've experienced. And it's a shame, it's a great shame, because it's a very large part of the human being, these supernatural experiences. How many of you are very familiar with your alter egos? How many of you have a supercilious? How many of you have the coward? How many of you, the coward's a very, very popular one. This spirit or altar that tells you that you can't do anything. Every single time you think about doing something, that'll close you down, because the coward. How many of you have got the warrior? How many of you have ever considered whether you wanted to get rid of the coward and introduce more of a warrior spirit? Now, I don't know whether you can actually manifest these things, or whether they just come about due to your innate dispositions, your natural traits genetically that you was born with, or experiences that you've had, powerful experiences that you've had, or the variety of character that you are. If you are a wayfarer, if you're a travelling disposition, then you'll have the accompaniment of that spirit. That's just how it is. But if you are naturally a coward, then there's nothing within you which is going to conjure up and create a warrior. You have to have experiences where the warrior comes on board. Like, I don't know, some sort of horrific experience whereby you're close to death and you feel as if you don't do something now to protect yourselves, then you're going to die. And so in that last few seconds, you find the strength, a spirit comes on board, a spirit becomes alive, and it does whatever it needs to do to protect yourselves. How many of you have had experiences like these things I'm mentioning? Why is it that you just keep stum? When we speak about people being dumb, well, 90% of you are dumb, aren't you? Clinically speaking, you are dumb. You can't speak. You find it very difficult to articulate, particularly expressing yourselves. You can't express yourselves. Oh, you can talk in the office about whatever the fucking agenda is, but you can't express yourselves. And if ever you feel compromised, then the coward will take over. Oh, just leave it. Oh, don't rock the boat. Oh, best not to say anything. And all this subservient, sickly vile shit that people do, never standing up for themselves, always being doormats. What is it that's made you like that? Do you remember any pinnacle experiences that turned you into doormats? Or do you think you were just born like that? Always born a coward? Who of you were born heroes and warriors? Nothing can suppress you, nothing. If you're born with a warrior spirit, nothing will surmount that. You are always going to be destined for the height of your capabilities. And the vast majority of what you're capable of is given to circumstances, because I'm pretty sure that the like of all the so-called warriors and heroes that we've had and in the past and written about in the history books, it's just a standardized archetype, no more brave than the regular archetype. You are either brave or you're not. You're either strong or you're not. And if you're brave and strong, well, you know, if you've got intelligence on top of that, that'll help. But these archetypes are just archetypes, people. And there's been very, very few on the world. But there's been trillions of cowards. And so, how dare anybody speak about having a warrior spirit vastly over and above the masses milling around in their mediocrity? How dare anybody's light shine brighter? Yes. And so when people are like that, people find it exceedingly difficult to communicate, because they're on one of the lowest rungs of the ladder. How can they communicate with someone on the highest rung of the ladder? It's not their place, is it? It's like the Indian caste system. The untouchables could never even be in the same room as one of the higher hierarchical figures. And so I suppose you all just knowing your place, just watching, just listening, just trying to be brave, trying to be self-actualized, trying to be self-realized, and yet failing all the time, evidently. How many of you have always stated, I'd love to come to talk to you, or are you still doing your therapy? I'll come to you for therapy, or I'll come and see you, and don't do it. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. And so what's happening? The coward's stepping in, isn't it? The coward's stepping in, people. The coward and the weakling. Oh, it's just easy to sit instead of standing. Why run when you can walk? Why sit when you can lie down? Why talk when you can be silent? Why do anything when you can do nothing? That's it, that's how most people are. And so they deserve the yoke that they bear. They deserve the burden that they carry. Oh, if you didn't, you wouldn't, would you? Let's talk frank here, people. If you didn't deserve it, then you wouldn't bear it, would you? Because those of us that don't deserve to carry the yoke don't bear it. It's just a law of the cosmos. That's how it is. And what about people that write in the comments, oh, it's not their fault, they've been indoctrinated, and you know, they've been closed down and suppressed, and they've been this and they've been that. Well, if they weren't fucking cowardice weaklings at heart, then none of that would have happened. It didn't happen to me. It hasn't happened to lots of you. And so, no, I'm not standing for that bullshit. Oh, it's not their fault. No, fuck, it is their fault. People are born to be slaves. And those ones that are slaving are born into that job. They're born to that position. They weren't given a hero's and warrior's disposition, which is going to be bound and shackled and suppressed so they can work 10 hours a day packing fucking chickens. Was it? No. You were born with a weak disposition, a meek disposition, When people tell you what to do and you do it without questioning. How many of you are there? How many of you are those sort of people? How many of you absolutely resent what I say? How many of you try to refute, but you can't? You can't, people. You can't refute it. These are natural laws. And it is what it is. Very, very few are in the higher realms of real intellect. You get all these idiots coming out of university which have got memories. That's all they've got, just memories. So they memorise shit. That's not intelligence. And then they end up in positions of so-called power whereby they are labelled with being scientists and important people in the world. Well, fucking scientism. No different to religion, it's just a belief. Just a belief, people. And when you look at what scientists conclude, the vast majority of it is just hypothesis about this and hypothesis about that. That's all it is, people. They don't know anything about anything, really. They don't know why things are what they are. They don't know what gravity is, they don't know what electricity is, they don't know what electromagnetism is. They can use it, but they don't know what it is. They just don't know anything, to be fair. And so therefore they're all embroiled in their own fantasy of their own knowledge. They don't know knowledge. They don't know people. The real knowledgeable people, the real Gnostics, are the philosophers. They're the ones that know. They're the ones that come the closest to knowing anything, if anything is to be known. And so, yeah, there must be some of you out there which can help me set supercilious aside. If it's ever going to be so, then it really is highly dependent on you to rise up, to tell me that you are at least encroaching on being a little bit equal to me. You've had some of the experiences that I've had, and so I don't feel so much like I'm an alien. I don't feel so solipsistic. I don't feel that I'm the only conscious being on the world and everyone else is just a fucking Bart Simpson two-dimensional effigy projection of the hologram. Where are the people with these experiences? Not only that, where are the people who have thought about them? Where are the people who have the intelligence to delve within them? As much as we possibly can, to ask questions. What on earth is going on? What are these phenomena? The world needs to start to investigate this stuff very, very seriously. Because in doing so, we will then start to discover really what we are. But it's like there's a massive conspiracy all over the world designed to prevent us from ever looking at ourselves. It's to keep us distracted, to keep us busy, to keep us all delusional, to keep us all living the delusion, and to keep us all pulling each other down and preventing us from any spiritual or philosophical supernatural growth. We all get closed down, don't we? Look what's happened to my channel. Can barely get a view. Barely get a view. And it's, to do with lots of things. But the subject matter that I'm broaching is only considered by a fraction of the populace. And it's vastly less than 1%, people, that are those who invest their time and efforts and energy into such subjects. So I was looking at a channel that's been around for years, 30 years, and that's Jeffrey Mishlov's Thinking Aloud, and he's got 108,000 subscribers. He's been around for 30 years, people. And if you start putting cat videos up, you'll quickly be in the millions. It's just the way it is, isn't it? It's the way the shit fest is. And so Jeffrey Mishlove has had, you know, brilliant people on, all obscure geniuses, people pioneering in certain realms of knowledge that will always remain obscure to the masses. But it's not always going to be the same. Once upon a time, in Lemuria and Atlantis and ancient Egypt and Babylonia and Sumeria, places like that, knowledge was abundant, but things changed. Some evil came over the world. Some massively depressing, suppressing evil energy. In the East they call it the Kali Yuga, the densest of times. Or is it the Bronze Age? But we're going to be rising up into the Silver Age, into the Gold Age, into the Diamond Age, into those higher glorious ages. But we're not going to be around to see that. Some of us are just sparks, just embers, tiny little flickers of light in a whole mass of darkness. That's what some of us are. We're like John the Baptist crying out in the wilderness, way ahead of our time. And so once again, people, how many of you, constant viewers, there's 200 of you which are constant, how many of you have had any of those experiences? How many of you have considered your altars, you can call them whatever you want to call them, spirits, egregores, archetypes, all these different